We are Arnel and Jasmine, Eugenio. We're the leaders for the GCFI missions team. And we just want to say I am so thankful and glad that we have a pastor who's obedient to God's voice. So that when we say win, disciple, and send, we don't just, those aren't just words on the wall. We live it here at Glory. So, with that, as many of you know, Haiti was hit pretty hard, and we have a very special relationship with Haiti. They got hit pretty hard a couple months ago by Hurricane Matthew. It was the strongest hurricane in the last 50 years. The worst part was none of them knew it. So we sent the survey team down there, which was comprised of myself and Jasmine and another nurse, to survey for our return mission there. So here to present to you what we found is my dear wife and better half, the medical director of our missions team, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you for letting us go. Because of you, we are able to be obedient and do God's will. So here's our what we found when we went to Haiti. Now, Hurricane Matthew struck the southwestern part of Haiti. It was a Category 4. 5 hurricane. As you can see here, it covered the whole nation. The red area in the middle is Plaisance du Sud. That's a certain area we surveyed. There was a lot of devastation, a lot of flooding. 200,000 homes were gone. 1,500 people, which is a guesstimate, had died. About 1.2 million people were affected, and about 2 billion is the cost of the flooding. The vegetation is gone. There were barely any plants or vegetation left, and also because of the flooding, a lot of the areas were cut off, and aid could not get through because there were no bridges. So because of that too, cholera, which is found in the rivers, has risen up in terms of number. Actually, Plaisance du Sud, the area we visited, is in the cusp of an epidemic. One of the places we visited, the first place we visited, is this hurricane-ravaged orphanage. And if you look closely at the foyer, there is a child's wheelchair. The child who owned this will never come home. First of all, there's no home. She died from cholera a few days before we got there. And together with her were 2 other kids, one boy, Jeremiah, 2 years old, and another boy, John, 1.5 years old. This is the room they shared with 4 other children. I stood there so you can see how small it is. This is where they are buried, right across the orphanage. There's an empty plot filled with flood water next to it. So Plaisance du Sud is about 85 miles from Port-au-Prince. You can get there by car. It took us 6 hours, 4 hours on paved road, and 2 hours on roads like this, where only one car can pass through. And some rivers where there's no bridges, we have to go through that. A lot of the vegetation right before the town is gone, so there are no crops for them to even feed on. There's no water either. This is how they live. They live in a house that is made of clay and lime, so that when the floods came, it pretty much disintegrated. So if you travel around, the landscape is filled with houses in ruins like this, village after village, hills and mountains of this. Just such devastation, there are no homes left. So Plaisance du Sud has 30,000 people. There are about 120 to 140 villages. Again, they're all guesstimates, there's no demographics. Only 2% of the population have jobs because those are the teachers. Everybody else has what we call microeconomy. This is their way of transportation. It's a donkey, and the other one is the Uber, which is a motorcycle. That's their taxi. That's all they have. There are only 2 cars. The first car is owned by our host, and the other car is owned by the missionary. So I said it's microeconomy. What they